All right, welcome back.
Welcome back.
So, Derek, there was an update to Teppen, which is a card game that I like to play that I've brought up on the show a few times. And Teppen this last season was in need of some serious nerfs because they accidentally made a hero so good that everyone played him and nothing else.
Don't you love when that happens?
You know, sometimes it's just how it works.
I find that shit kind of almost hysterical.
Oh yeah,
Help! Sorry.
See, the only good thing about when that stuff happens is when a character gets so popular and a deck gets so popular that everyone runs it, you can run shit that's hyper-focused on just beating that one deck and win all the fucking time because there's no other deck you're gonna run into that's gonna give you problems. So it's like, alright, cool.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I didn't end up playing that hero. Well, I did play that hero for a little while, but I played a different variant of the deck that was just hyper-focused on shutting down everything that deck did.
So,
yeah.
I've told you about it before. In Magic, there's 5 colors, right?
Yes.
And you can play any combination of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the decks that works almost always is a red deck. Because red decks are hyper-focused on destroying your enemy before they got a chance to set up defenses.
Yeah, of course.
And so the term "red deck wins" is an expression.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you can make a deck that's hyper-focused on destroying these red decks, because 40% of players play red decks.
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter what the meta is, people are playing it, and you're playing a deck that is hyper-focused on destroying this specific kind of deck.
Dude, absolutely. It is really funny how, like, effective and
efficient that is.
It can be. Well, see, ours was way worse because it was... Dude, I'm not kidding. It was so bad, I'd argue probably 80% of the fucking player base was just playing this one deck.
Gotta love it.
I mean, it was...
I said with all the sarcasm I can muster.
It was really bad. And people were, like, really butthurt about it for a long time, man. They were just like, I can't believe they gotta balance this. I'm gonna stop playing the game if they don't change it, blah, blah, blah. And I would always just write, get good.
Get good, man.
Get good. Because that season where everyone was fucking doing terrible, I was fucking rank 500 in the world running Jill, which no one runs Jill because she sucks normally. But I ran a very specific deck on just destroying Zero, and it was just dominating.
Well, they do say the meta can make the a deck.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. That deck that I... Not that deck, but a couple seasons back, there was another deck that I used to run during the meta, and that deck is fucking garbage now because they nerfed the original meta deck that it was made to compete against, and now no one runs that deck because all the cards in it suck now, so no one runs it, and I'm like, well, my deck should still be pretty... No, it fucking blows ass. It doesn't work at all. But, yeah, it is... It's rather fun just to have, like... The Jill deck still kind of works because it does really high damage to single targets. So it will hit for, like... In a game where cards don't have more than, like... On average, don't have an average of about 5 to 6 health, and I can do direct 6 health damage to you.
That's gonna kill most cards.
It's strong. Like, it's really strong. And it's the fact that a lot of that deck was just like, put big card on the field, use Resonate to summon more cards on the field using its power, but I would just, you'd like put the card on the field, and I'd just immediately kill it. So they'd only get like maybe one summon if they were lucky, and then I'd use my second one to kill it. Because her hero power is any card you searched for, you can put it in your EX pocket at half cost. So it goes from being 1 MP, it goes from being 2 MP to 1 MP. So, literally for no cost,
I'm not sure of the mechanics,
killing shit.
But honestly, that sounds pretty powerful.
Let me explain the mechanics a little more to you. When you use an action card like that, it slows the game down for your opponent to retaliate. If they retaliate, both of you get 2 more MP when the action card is played. And then when action cards end, that 2 MP goes away. So if you don't use it, you don't get to use it. But if you do use it, you essentially got to use 2 free MP with no real cost to you. So what you'll do is you'll play a card, they'll play a counter, and then you'll get to play another card for free as well.
That's pretty good.
So, because it's 1 MP though, I'd play an action card, or they'd play an action card, I'd get 2 free MP, and I'd be able to drop 2 6 bombs onto their cards for free, with no MP cost to me. Strong deck. Very strong deck. Very, very, very strong deck.
Very strong.
Very strong deck.
It's a strong deck.
Anyways, getting back to where I was originally going with this, is they just nerfed, like, a fuck ton of cards. Like, they nerfed... They also buffed a couple cards, which needed buffs. But they mostly nerfed, like, a ton of cards and a ton of hero arts. And pretty much all of them were warranted, except for, like, a couple. But one that gets me out of all of them is they changed one of Ryu's special moves that used to give +2 damage to every card in your hand, field, and your hand and field. They changed it, so instead of costing 22 AP to get 2, now it costs 15 to get 1, +1. So technically it costs 30 now to get +2. And everyone is just like, oh yeah, they nerfed it because it costs more now. I'm like, no, they buffed the shit out of it. It only costs 15 now? And I can +1 shit? Like, you don't understand. Like, the problem with that deck is that you normally had to wait a super long time to get your bonus damage for your cards. Now you don't have to wait at all. Like, you can just play shit.
Like, it doesn't sound like they nerfed it, Chris. It sounds like they changed the card.
Yeah, it's hero art in this case. Like, hero ability in this case.
They rebalanced.
Yeah,
that.
they rebalanced it, but it's just so funny because people were like, oh, they nerfed it. I'm like, this is a buff. I'm like, I'm like, it's not a buff to what made the deck really strong, because it was a burn deck. Essentially, it would just peck you for damage directly, and you couldn't do anything about it.
It's a red deck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But burn has always been pretty bad in Teppen, until recently. This last season, they made burn absolutely ridiculous, because they added a card that just hits for 7 damage directly. And if you could +2 it twice, that means it was hitting for 11 damage in a game where you start with 30 health?
I don't see a problem there, Chris.
So, they straight up, like, just wrecked everyone with fucking burn. And I was like, well, mistakes were made, guys. That was the other 20% of decks. It was 0, and then the other 20% was burn Ryu. And everyone fucking hated it.
Sounds like that game had a bit of balance issues.
That last season did. Normally it's been pretty good, but that last season was a mess. There was also the Yan Li era that people were just like, that was super unbalanced, and I was just like, that wasn't that bad. People thought it was super unbalanced, but like, you could do a lot of horseshit with purple decks to just destroy green decks, because a lot of their best cards were like level 4 cards that had to be played over another card. So, like, you had to spend, like, at least...
stacking?
Beautiful. Yeah. So you had to spend, like, 3 MP, and then you'd have to wait for 4 more MP, and then you'd have to play that 4 MP on top of 3 MP card to get the stack bonus, but then you're not having, like, your field filled up, you're just having, like, another card on top of a card, but it has bonus abilities that are strong. And purple just didn't give a fuck, because you do that, and then purple would bounce that shit back to your hand, and you lose all your MP, and you get nothing. And people were like, green is too strong, and I'm like, just bounce shit! Literally just bounce their cards back to their hand, and they can't do anything. Like, it's a joke how easy it is to beat.
To me, it sounds like... Which one was the one that just was the face damage? That was red, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a red deck in Magic.
Red deck has 2 styles. There is board control style and direct damage style.
That's red in Magic.
Yeah.
And purple, you said, had a lot of bounce effects.
A lot of bounce effect, a lot of card stealing, a lot of it's the shenanigans decks.
It's the blue decks
it's the
in
blue
Magic.
Deck. Yeah, they're the shenanigans decks.
You said green had big shit?
Green has green is all healing and support. So
that's white Magic. That's white and that is white in Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
What has big crap?
Big crap is definitely black.
So
Well-
black is green then in Magic.
Well, black also has a secondary option, though. Black is...
Straight up death things?
Well, yeah, no, it has revenge. Cards
Okay.
that can come brought back for higher damage, but at a lower cost.
So it is...
After they die.
Then black in that game is a mix of between green and black
Yeah.
in Magic.
Yeah, like, it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a bunch of different styles in which you... Because purple also has something that, I don't know if it's in Magic, though you could probably tell me. Does, we call it Big Rezo, because it's Resonate abilities, but, essentially it's when you play you play a Resonate card, and then whenever you use an action card, they get a stat boost.
Yes, that is a mechanic that is in Magic the Gathering too.
Oh, yeah, that's a really...
It's in a couple different styles of
Okay.
cards.
Well,
Like-
it is in ours now
Oh,
too,
dude,
but
you
hey,
got
a
a
trophy,
trophy.
awesome. It is in Teppen as well. Like they have Resonate cards now in every goddamn deck now, but it used to be exclusive to purple.
They call them in Magic. It's called a counter, and you
Yeah.
put it on a card, and it gets +1/+1 to the card.
Oh, only +1/+1. How quaint.
Oh, but no, it can be changed, Chris. Because I have a couple cards that this combo is fucking silly, and I love
Yeah.
it. Which is, whenever a +1/+1 counter is put onto this card, onto another card, put that many +1/+1 counters onto this card. If you have two of those cards, Chris, they become infinite infinites, and you win the game.
Oh, that's actually that's actually bullshit. I love it.
I was playing that expansion had come out relatively recently when I got into Magic.
Yeah.
And my buddy was like, "Yeah, this mechanic's broken," and he was telling me about it. And I'm like, "Dude, I need to buy 4 copies of this card and put it in my deck."
That sounds like
And
some
I did.
That sounds like some shit I would come up with.
Yeah, but like
Or
that was a
much.
mechanic that he showed me, and I was just like,
Yep.
"Oh, I need 4 copies of this card now,"
Mm-hmm.
and I bought them.
Yeah, the fucking
Actually, I think I had 8 copies of that card at one point.
the craziest one was Big Rezo Dante, although no one runs it because it's not that strong. But Big Rezo Dante, you get this card, right? It's like a 7-cost card. It's expensive. You can put it on the field, but it gets +2/+2. But Dante has a special ability called Ebony and Ivory,
Oh, these
Which-
guns.
which lets him... Yeah, his guns. Which lets him double the effect of Resonate. So essentially she gets +4/+4 every action card played, and they just recently added a card last expansion that if you put it on a card, it doubles their ability and it stacks, and you can run 3 of them, and you can Ebony and Ivory on top of those, so you
That's
can
12.
literally be getting let's see, no, because it's
Exponential.
I think it's exponential, so it's 2... If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 16. It's either 16 or it's like
From the calculator.
64. Like it's either
Just a
16 or
calculator.
it's 64, and it's like ridiculous. You'll never actually see anyone do it because it's ridiculous. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Yeah, 64. I was right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, like I don't know if that's how it works because I've never seen anyone actually attempt to do it. Resonate,
want
put
to.
that much Resonate onto one card because like there's so many just like destroy a card on the field cards in the game right now.
Yeah.
So like even if you did manage to accomplish it, if you run into a black deck, that black deck could just be like and die.
That's my... I didn't really play black in Magic too much. There's a lot of that in black,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, you're having fun?
Oh,
No.
dude, black is, as much as I love to play black when I'm playing it, black is literally the anti-fun decks in that game because they just destroy everything.
So in Magic, blue is about countering, returning things to your hand. Delay is the name of the game.
Yeah, exactly,
Life-
exactly like purple.
When I was playing Magic at college, the people I'd play with said, "You're not allowed to play blue anymore." Because I was so good at it, and it was so frustrating for all of them
that they were like,
that they were
I
like,
hate
"You can't. You're not allowed. I'm not playing against you if you play blue anymore." And I was just like, "Fine."
I get though. I get though. I mean, I used to play a blue water deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! That essentially was I just called it the stall deck because that's all it did.
I remember that deck.
It just stalled out games until I got my trump card, and then I just win.
I remember that deck.
Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! is a game that's all about having a lot of cards in your hand, right? So you have a bunch of shit that you can play onto the board. And then I ran a card in the game that was just like, when it's played on the field, throw all the cards on the field and in each player's hand into the graveyard. So it would just like, I'd stall out the game, play the card, everything gets thrown away, and now they would have to win. Now they would have to draw a card to win the game in 3 turns, or else I'd win by default. And I was like,
I win by a technicality!
Yeah, I'm like, what are you gonna do about it? The answer is nothing. I also added that, like, Earthbound Immortal Whale, which, like, when it's on the field,
Winnie
nothing
the
can attack.
Winnie the Pooh,
And
we never did this world.
Good. 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 But yeah, it's a...
This one? Is this the last one?
There's a lot of
the
fun
last
stuff.
one, Chris. Well, not the last one, but we're getting to the end.
We're getting there.
Continue talking.
I'm just thinking if there's anything more to cover. Oh yeah, they, see what happened is they, you know how you said, what would you consider like a steamrolling deck? Like a deck that just builds momentum and then just attack and health just keeps increasing, and there's nothing you can do to stop them?
Red decks are about basically diminishing your opponent's resources until they lose. White-green combo.
White-green? Okay.
Because the thing with Magic is you don't have to just play one color, Chris.
Well, you don't have to in that game either. It's just they harshly punish you for it. You can...
They're actually kind of encourage you to play more than one color, because one color's like weakness might be offset by another color's strength.
Oh yeah, it works pretty much the same way. It's just you won't see anyone run more than 2 colors because one color you get 10 MP to work with. 2 colors you get 5 MP to work with. 3 colors you get 3 MP to work with. Good luck playing. I used to run a really dumb 3-color deck actually in the first season of the game because I just made flyers that had shit tons of attack power because both red and black heavily increase attack power, and then I would use green for quick attacking you directly.
In Magic, white and green are the colors that typically produce tokens, which are just basically, they're not real cards, but they stay on the field.
Yes.
And some of the cards are ridiculous because it's just like, for every token you make an additional token.
Yeah. Yep.
And some cards are, you play this card and you get 10 tokens.
Oh, Derek, you have no idea what pain really is until you played. They just nerfed him, thank God. The V, the mysterious one, Derek, is... Oh, cutscene.
I think it's this one. Yes.
Beelzebub? Yo!
I was like, this is happening, and I know Chris is going to be
like,
so
right
pumped about it.
Right when the music kicked on, I was like, yo, Beelzebub!
I was like, Chris will enjoy this. I didn't spoil this one.
Could you imagine Disney nowadays making a cartoon about the fucking devil?
It would never fly.
Oh my god, it would be so fucking, like, what the fuck? Ah, and he looks sick, too. I like that he's actually standing in the volcano as well. I hope he's OP as shit.
So, I think he's the second to last boss, if my memory serves right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I slightly lost track of what I was gonna say, but
colors combo.
the colors, combos, tokens. Oh yeah, the mysterious one. So when you play an action, his resonate abilities. When you play an action card, you summon a air quote token to the field. Except his tokens are fucking unbelievable.
Sounds like my style of deck, man.
So, yeah, it was also everyone's style of deck. I would argue it was about 80% of the community's style of deck, too.
I see a trend here, Chris.
It was... Dude, so you have the option to summon a bird that could fly, Which, flying in Teppen is super strong, because there's not a lot of decks that can deal with flyers directly. They have to deal with them either indirectly, or they have to slowly attack them over time until the other thing hits them. A cat that could resonate +1/+1 every time you play an action card to summon another card to the field, you also get +1/+1 on your cat. And a golem that has 13... Keep in mind, the average health in this game is about 5 to 6. A golem that has 13/13 and has indestructible and slow, so he moves slowly to attack you, and spillover, which spillover, if it hits a card, it also, the damage of that attack, half of it spills over into the other 2 lanes adjacent from that lane. In other words, he hits the main card for 30, killing it, and any cards next to it then get hit for like 6, killing them as well instantly.
Sounds to me like...
So you either block it and have it die and kill your board,
They don't really seem to know balance very well here.
Or you don't, and it hits you for almost half health, because you start with 30 health. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it's just worth taking the 30 damage. That's how fucking ridiculous it is. Here's what makes it better. Here's what makes it better. So, purple is the counter deck. It's the shenanigans deck. So, if you're like, alright, it's fine, I'll just use an action card to destroy the V is very weak to other things, and he can't attack, and he has 0 attack. So he's weak to a bunch of things. I don't think so. Because purple is the negate deck that runs all the negate cards, so if you're like, I'm gonna just destroy that, and they're like, negate, alright, well let me try that again, second negate card. Oh, did you not know that I run 14 negate cards, and every time I negate it, I summon a card to the field too? Haha, my deck is fucking hilarious!
I sense bitterness here, Chris.
Oh, dude, it blows. The only reason I could semi-consistently beat that deck is because I used another card that's ability is, when it dies, it will destroy any card on the field that has 1 attack or less, and V has 0 attack. So I will purposely put him on the field to get killed, and then the V will die, and the zeros normally go, oh. Oh. Like, because every time it's like, oh yeah, that card does that. Because everyone forgets it does it. Shot. Alright. Zozuba. Zozuba. Time. But, yeah, dude, the card is...
Silly.
Absolutely. They just nerfed the shit out of it. Now it costs... Keep in mind, you can only have 10 MP in the game, and now he's playing, and now it costs 10 MP to play him instead of 8.
Huh.
So now you have to play him, and you pretty much can't do anything. Oh!
So close.
So close. So, that was actually really good on your part up until the end there. When you fucked it.
When you fucked it.
But, man, there sure is a lot of games we play right now that have the time of playing the game just conveniently right on the main menu. I just noticed that. But yeah, so that game, that deck... Oh, I forgot to murder... The bird also has a resonate ability where every time you play an action card, again, to either buff your cat or play another card onto the field, it does 2 damage to a random enemy unit. Because... Fuck it, it's not strong enough.
Why not, Chris?
Oh, dude, it is absolutely terrible. What a great season. One of my favorite seasons. Oh, and then, here's what I forgot to mention, though. So, Mega Man in that game, who's been known for being really shit, recently got, like, a huge buff because they added a bunch of Resonate cards to him, to green. That increase health. And Mega Man has a hero card, right, called Charge Shot, where every time the card increases its health, it also gets 1 attack for every time its health increases by 1. So it'll get, like, 1 attack every time it heals.
Yeah.
So, now imagine you have Resonate cards that heal all the other cards on the field, and you Charge Shot.
That sounds silly.
So literally, you just like you can just steamroll. I mean, I got a game where I had a card that literally had 48 attack and like 60 health, just like on the field, and I'm just like, eventually it's gonna hit you, and it's gonna be game over.
At some point, somebody will die.
Eventually, you're gonna lose. Oh yeah. But you want to talk balance? Here's the funny one, right? This isn't actually that prominent of a strategy because, you know, the game was not that... It wasn't that practical because the chances of you summoning it for V is a 1 in 3, because it's random. But remember how I said the Golem has 13 attack, and you only have 30 health? Well, they added a card. I mean, they added a hero whose hero art gives you +2 attack in combo.
This sounds ridiculous.
So... what you did is you'd make the golem a flyer, because remember, golems are indestructible. It's actually written on their card, indestructible, impervious to all damage. So they can't die, and they only die once they hit you. So you get it onto the field, you'd make it a flyer, so it could fly over your opponent, and then right before it was about to hit your opponent, you'd use your hero art on it, giving it +2 attack and combo, making it a 15 attacker who hits you directly twice for 30 damage immediately. Best game.
Why not? I mean...
it was like the first thing I thought of when I saw his hero ability too. I was like, this gives +2 attack and combo. Isn't there a card? I'm like, I wonder if that could OTK someone. And then I was just like, is there a card that has enough attack to OTK? Oh my god, there is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Heal.
This should help.
I don't think so.
Oh god!
Oh, we gotta call this one. Because we're at the end now. Alright, we'll see you guys in the next part though. We'll see you then. Peace.